So, whilst there wasn't a huge amount of AAA top quality games released in 2022, there were more than enough Easter eggs to keep us satisfied. In today's video, I'm going to be recapping my favourite Easter eggs of 2022. Now, I have limited this video to one Easter egg per game, otherwise the entire video could be Dying Light 2 Easter eggs. Oh, and before we get started, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, War Robots Frontiers. War Robots Frontiers is an online multiplayer mech shooter with a focus on fast-paced battles. You must pilot the very powerful war robots as you leave Earth and do battle on Wild 10, a cluster of different worlds rich in resources. Of course, humans being human, it's not long until the various factions are arguing over who should get what, and war breaks out. Now, just because you're fighting for your chosen faction's very existence, that doesn't mean you can't do it in style. You can customise your war robot to your own liking, which means that whenever you enter battle, you can stand out from the crowd. War Robots Frontiers is currently in early access, and you can join the fight by purchasing the Founders Pack, so if you want to get a head start on the competition, now's your chance. Of course, early access also means that War Robots is still in development, and the devs are very open and transparent, so your feedback could make a big difference. To check out War Robots Frontiers for yourself, simply click the link in the description. Every click helps the channel out a ton, and who knows, you might find yourself on the front lines of a robot war sooner than you think. Once again, a huge thank you to War Robots Frontiers for sponsoring today's video, and without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with the excellent Dying Light 2. Now, I know Dying Light 2 isn't perfect, and many believe that the original Dying Light is a better game. But one thing that can't be argued are the game's Easter eggs. Dying Light 2 is full of really cool Easter eggs, so picking just one for this video was tough. In the end, the Easter egg I chose can be found at the Butcher's base.
You talk? What the hell? A talking hen? You look more like a hen to me, and a talking one too.
So this space cock, his words not mine, claims to be responsible for the zombie outbreak, but now needs your help in leaving Earth. To help the little guy out, simply fetch the nearby spaceship part and return it to the cock.
5 dozen eggs. Until we do not meet again.
So, true to his word, the cock will leave you a gift in the form of the Pan of Destiny blueprint. This blueprint costs 369 scrap to craft, and I'll let you guys decide if it's worth it or not. Next up is Rainbow Six Extraction. Now, whilst Extraction didn't really set the world alight, it is a decent enough game. I mean, I doubt that many of you watching this video are still playing the Rainbow Six Siege spin-off, but it was fun for a week or two. Now, like most Ubisoft games, Extraction also had its fair share of Easter eggs, but my personal favourite is appropriately Christmas themed. On the Alaska map, you can find this. So hidden behind the sign are snowmen versions of Rainbow Six operators Ash and Montaigne. True to their Siege counterparts, shooting at the snowmen will cause this to happen. Up next is Apex Legends. Now, Loch Ness plushies have been in Apex since the game launched in 2019. I mean, it was only a month ago that we discovered a group of Nessies had treated themselves to a wardrobe change. Well, the Easter egg from Apex Legends that I've chosen to include here can only be found on April Fool's Day, but it finally lets you wield the power of the Nessie.
The first is full.
So the Nessie launcher weapon does exactly what you think it does. It launches Nessie plushies that seek out enemies. It's brilliant. Next up is a game that, like Dying Light 2, could have had multiple entries in this video. Postal Brain Damaged took the Postal series' unique sense of humour and placed it in a boomer shooter. Not only is Brain Damaged a game full of Easter eggs, but it's actually a pretty good game to play, which is always nice. Now, the Easter egg I eventually chose is a reference to an all-time classic internet meme. During Mission 4, you can use your shotgun's hook to reach 2 levers on either side of the hall. Pushing both levers on any day other than Wednesday will cause this to happen.
Those moronic developers thought they could hide this from me?
Well, if you press both levers on a Wednesday, this will happen instead.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
So this Easter egg is a reference to this famous vine from 2016.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Now, when it comes to games that are packed with Easter eggs, the Hitman series might just be the most packed of them all. With the release of every new map comes a load of new Easter eggs to find. That didn't change when Ambrose Island was released for Hitman 3 in July. Scattered around the isolated island are 5 of these waving cats, and in typical Hitman fashion, you need to shoot all 5. After shooting the final cat, head to the pier for a spot of fishing. So it seems that shooting the 5 waving cats angered the waving cat god. Well, I say angered, but the cat will spit fish at 47, which seems like a peace offering if you ask me. Next up is one of my favourite games of the year, which when you consider it's a game about cleaning, is very surprising. Powerwash Simulator had me hooked for a good few weeks back when it released in May. I couldn't get enough of the satisfying clean 'em up. It was when cleaning that I started to get the feeling I was being watched. Thinking nothing of it, I carried on with the job at hand, and that's when I found this. So these gnomes can be found hidden on every level in Powerwash Simulator. Some are really easy to find, others are pretty well hidden. Quite why the gnomes are so interested in my cleaning prowess, I guess I'll never know. Now, for a channel like mine, the Stanley Parable is the perfect game. It's full of Easter eggs and cool scenarios that reward out-of-the-box thinking. Though that out-of-the-box thinking is limited by not being able to jump. Well, in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, you can unlock the ability to jump, and you can head to the factory and jump over the railing and head through this vent. Once inside the room, head to the right to find this.
From so far off the beaten path that it seemed the officer begun. From so far off the beaten path that it seemed the officer begun. From so far off the beaten path that it seemed the officer begun. From so far off the beaten path that it seemed the officer begun.
So this is a reference to the Dark Souls series, with many arguing it could be a reference to Elden Ring, as that was the first Souls-like game with an actual jump button. To be honest, I'm just happy to find a Dark Souls Easter egg that isn't a sword in a bonfire. So 2022 was the year of the backrooms. Now, I'm almost certain that the urban legend of an endless maze of randomly generated officers was a thing before this year. But I feel like 2022 was the year the story went mainstream. For proof of this, look no further than video games, with more than one game referencing the spooky story. My favourite of these references can be found in the demo of Trepang 2, a first-person shooter heavily influenced by the Fear series. If you enable the no-clip cheat, which can be unlocked after completing the prologue, you can find this. so you find yourself in the back rooms, which isn't somewhere you really want to be. For a start, this picture of the Mona Lisa seems to be moving around the room, and shooting the picture will cause this to happen. Now, if being attacked by a creepy spirit is just too much for you and you want to leave, well, you can't. Trying to quit will cause this message to appear, which lets you know there is no escape. Even if you try to return to the safe house, it's marked as an invalid destination, so you're probably going to be here for a while. The next Easter egg is just as creepy, if not creepier. In October, ghost hunting spookfest Phasmophobia received an update that changed the game's lobby. If you decided to be curious and see what's hiding behind this door, this will happen. Now to me, this is really scary. There's something about cloaked figures that just give me the heebie-jeebies. Oh, and if you were wondering, here is what's hiding in that room. So the final Easter egg for today's video is one that I recently shared in my video game Easter eggs that reference other video games video, but it's just too damn good not to share here. In Internet Cafe Simulator 2, you can find this. Oh, and I haven't added any sounds to this Easter egg, this is all in-game.
Amogus.
So that's it, those are my favourite Easter eggs of 2022. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel's all about. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.